I turned 40, man. It's getting tricky.
About to turn how old?
40.
Clicked record a little sooner than expected, or at least Bradley anyway. Anyway, starting
Oh,
the
yeah.
show in it, yeah, starting the show in an interesting way. This is Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday evening. I'm your host, Graham Powell on this screen. That's Bradley Brown on the other, who's going to turn 40 soon. Say what's up, Bradley.
How's it going? I'm
Uh,
I'm almost a grown man. I'm almost 40.
is it? It's this month, right?
Yeah,
Okay. We must have a delay
at
because
the end of
there's
the month.
okay. All right, because there's a little bit of lag in our communication, but we'll hopefully get it fixed. But anyway, yeah, Brad's about to be a full-grown man like me and Mike Gundy. But we'll talk about other things going on, sports and all that, if I don't knock my computer over. Anyway, this is Shoe Booty Sports. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers five different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all five of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Okay, when is your birthday?
The 26th.
I was like, maybe I should know that, but I don't know. Do you know mine?
As what, October 4th or something?
Dang.
9th?
Okay, you had it right the first time,
Yeah.
October 4th. All
Yeah.
right, that's pretty good. All right, you're better than I am. All right. So, I feel great at 40, by the way, despite the cough. And yeah, um, I mean, I set a PR in the half marathon at 40 years old, so you got something to look forward to there.
Waiting for the old man strength to kick in. What age does that kick in?
I don't know that that's worked for me. Well, I say that, and I bought cat food today. I went and got some cat. I needed coffee creamer, so I was like, "Oh, I got." You know how you go to the store for like one thing, you're like, "This is what I have to have." The
Yeah.
other stuff can
That's
wait.
usually the one thing I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I was like, I have to go to the store now because I need coffee creamer. Yes, I'm using the word need. I need coffee creamer, and but it's like while you're there, you might as well get this other stuff you're eventually going to need. So I went and got cat food, paper towels, some yogurt, that kind of thing. And as I'm in the checkout line, I put the paper towels up there, and then I, the guy goes, I'm starting to get the cat food. He goes, "You can leave that in there, and I'll scan it, or I'll come around there and scan it," which is ridiculous. And
Yeah.
so I just full show my strength, and I just one arm it with my left hand. I just hold it up, just right to
Yeah.
him. Scans it. He's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, that's right." So there's just some old man strength right there, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, showed him. But
Yeah. You know, he probably went home and told all his little youngin' friends about you. It's like, man, this old guy came in so strong.
well, this guy was even older than us.
Okay.
So
So
uh,
he probably was impressed.
yeah, so if he's hanging out with some young friends, that's a little weird. Um, I said, yeah, okay. Anyway, I was gonna say I got talked into doing family track night for my run club, which I didn't know. I've never done it before. I was the coach at a run clinic. And so I'm thinking maybe it's going to be something similar with families. No, it's like full on kids. It's like full on children. I showed up like, "What do you need me to do?" And the head girl who's pretty good at organizing it. She said, "We need somebody for 8 and 10-year-old boys." I was like, "Okay, I'll do it. Just put me wherever you need me." And yeah, so I was basically in charge of 48 and 8 to 10-year-old boys yesterday for an hour, just lining them up and having them run when it was their turn. That was interesting. It was actually kind of fun
Did you have
because
a
I
whistle?
I did not, but I had a
Yeah.
sign. I had to run to them and then like have them jog back to me, that kind of thing. Um, that was interesting. I kind of forget how fun it is to be in that age range, or of course you forget when you're 40 years old. But uh, yeah, they had a good time. It was interesting. There was a couple of twins there that were running in Crocs. They tried to tell me they run faster in Crocs. I said, "Oh, it's because you got it in four-wheel drive."
Exactly.
Which
Yeah, in
yeah,
sport mode.
yeah, sport mode. Um, I call it four-wheel drive, but I've heard sport mode. One of them, they're clear twins, same haircut and everything. And the one of them comes up to me and goes, "We're twins." I was like, "Oh, you don't say." Um, by the
What?
way, yeah, by the way, kids still say the joke spell I cut. The kid came up to the kid, the kid named Akeem. Another kid came up to him and said, "Spell I cut." And I said, "Wow, people they still tell that joke." It's a good one. I get it. It's a good kid joke.
Classic.
Still, at that age, I hope that one. It's apparently never going to die. It's been passed down from generation to generation. So I'm glad to see it going. But anyway, that's semi-sports related, talking about running and stuff.
Yes.
But before we got on here, I was watching a little bit of the Aaron Rodgers, I guess, press conference. He is the new Steelers quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is back. It took a long time, but Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler. It makes sense considering the Steelers did everything they could to pass on Shador Sanders. They're basically saying, Aaron Rodgers, come on, we're doing everything we can to improve our team and not draft a quarterback because we want you to be our quarterback. Uh, Rodgers reportedly and understandably so wanted to go to Minnesota. I thought it made the most sense, at least for him, not necessarily for Minnesota, having drafted J.J. McCarthy in the first round a year ago. You still don't know what you have with him. I've said on the show, if I were Minnesota, I would go and get Rodgers. I would just say, why not? This is our window. Let's carpe the diem, seize the carp, see what we can get with Aaron Rodgers, see if that can put us over the top. But they didn't go that direction. Uh, yeah, Minnesota's sticking with JJ McCarthy. I get that. I don't know. Maybe they'll have something special there. But Pittsburgh's got a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Uh, I think it. I think it makes well. Pittsburgh's going to be better offensively
Yeah.
with Rodgers over Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. I have a coworker who thinks uh, Justin Fields is the answer. like he's athletically gifted. He wasn't a difference maker in Chicago.
Yeah.
He he didn't do his numbers weren't bad, but he didn't do anything impressive. His numbers weren't bad, but they weren't good. It's in Pittsburgh. I mean, and they went with Russell Wilson last year. That's what I would have done too. Proven Super Bowl champion, probably future Hall of Famer to me anyway. Uh, yeah, I'm taking that guy over Justin Fields, and Justin Fields is going to the Jets, and I think we're going to see that Justin Fields why he went to the Jets, and we're really going to see that with the Jets because the Jets find a way to ruin quarterbacks or really just ruin everything. They just take other players down with them. You look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers. I mean, again, I've said this on the show several times. I mean, the Jets weren't the win loss record wasn't pretty, but Aaron Rodgers had consistent numbers with what he has statistically. Aaron Rodgers wasn't the problem, but he also wasn't the solution because there were a whole lot of other problems that needed to be addressed, and that's just the Jets. So I'm happy for Aaron Rodgers to get out of there. I would have liked to have seen him in Minnesota, but I would much rather see him in Pittsburgh than New York, either New York franchise at this point, but especially the Jets, because I actually think the Giants are probably trending upward. because
Mm.
I do like the draft picks that they had in this past draft. Go ahead. Looks like you want to say something.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you make note of what week they were playing the Jets? And the
No idea.
week one. It's
Oh
like it
wow.
was written in the
Okay.
stars. Yeah,
Oh
we don't
wow.
have to wait
Wonderful.
long.
Okay, I do like that about the NFL. They don't waste time in giving us the matchups we want to see. I do like that. It's why I like the UFC. The why UFC is so popular now. You hear more about UFC than you do about boxing these days because
Yeah.
in boxing it takes forever to see the fight you want to see. At least usually 95% of the time, 95%. And they're usually well past their prime before you see that fight. UFC, Dana White says, no, you guys are fighting now. This is what the fans want. This is what they're going to get,
Hmm.
assuming everybody can pass a drug test or stay out of trouble, etc.
Yeah. I remember with boxing thinking, man, I can't wait to see this fight in 8 months, 10 months, or whenever, however long it took to get that scheduled.
Or
So,
10 years.
yeah.
um, maybe not that long, but I mean, how long did we wait for Pacquiao Mayweather? And when
Too
did the fight
long.
actually happen? Like it should have happened really
Should
in
have.
2010. Like 2010 is really when it should have happened.
Yeah, I was going to say '09, but yeah. And then I think it actually happened in what, 2013, 2014?
I think at least 2014. Um, and you're probably right. Like Pacquiao was at his best in 2008. 2008 Manny Pacquiao was at his best. But I know how boxing is. 2009, yes, it would have been better. It would have been peak, but I would have been okay with 2010. I wouldn't complain about the timeline. But
No.
5, 6 years later, that's insane. That's ridiculous. And
They still
on
got
top
my
of
money.
that, they still got our money. They got everyone's money.
Yeah.
And it was a complete dud of a fight. There's,
Yep.
yeah, but they got paid. So they did something right. Okay. So we went down that rabbit hole. Yeah, this makes the Steelers better. I saw TJ Watt's holding out, but this is the time of year everybody's holding out. All the stars are holding out and want to get paid. TJ Watt deserves whatever he's going to get paid, I'm sure.
Yeah. That market has shifted quite a bit over the last couple of years. So
Yeah, I'm not going to hate on anyone that wants to get paid. Like, get your money while you can, especially at
get your
that
value.
position. Yeah, if he plays 10 years in the league, that's like top 1%. As far as players that can do that in the NFL. Stay or at least stay healthy long enough to do that for someone as talented as he is. Yeah, get your money while you can. I think the Steelers will pay him. If anything, they'll find a common ground and get him out on the field. But you got Mike Tomlin controlling the defense, controlling things in the locker room. Uh, I like that. I actually kind of like that George Pickens is gone. He was the most talented receiver there, but also kind of pretty weird. Uh, and
Probably the
Jerome,
most immature person on the team.
well, for sure, definite diva. I Rogers is gonna. I mean, of course, you'd like to see some type of playmaker there. I don't know about Devonte Adams if that's something that can happen. Probably could, but at this point, it's not the same. It doesn't hit the same as it did in Green Bay. But if anything, it could be. If I'm Pittsburgh, I don't want Rodgers bringing in Alan Lazard and his whole crew. But if you want to bring that like they did in New York, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But if you want to bring in Devonte Adams, I'll be like, okay, we'll give you this one. That's it. We're getting younger. We're going to teach the guys that we have, or we're going to develop them. But I don't know. It could work, but it's a really tough division. But it's Pittsburgh. I mean, we always talk about Mike Tomlin always has a winning season. Now, as of late, it's either 8-1 or uh,
Yeah.
9-8 or 9-7-1. It's barely a winning season at this point, but they started out strong this past season. They dipped down the stretch, but who knows? Maybe I like the move for both sides. I like it for Rodgers. I like it for the Steelers. I think it'll work. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I think it'll work. What do you think?
Oh, I think it'll work. Well, I'm with you. I don't think they're Super Bowl bound or anything. I mean, but hey, you get hot at the right time. I mean, anything's possible. So,
Yeah, when Favre went to the Vikings, I didn't see them having as much success as they did.
no.
Uh, I liked the move for both teams, but I didn't see them legitimate Super Bowl contenders, which they probably. I'm not going to say they should have beaten the Saints in the NFC Championship game, but they had them. They had them on the ropes, and Favre did what Favre does, which I hate to say that because I'm a big fan of his, but pick to basically seal it for the opposing team in the playoffs, and of course the Saints go on to win the Super Bowl. So I don't know. Maybe you can get something like that with Rodgers. If anything, that's why I was cool with Minnesota going it making that move. Because let's just see what we can do. Let's see what we can do with a Hall of Fame quarterback. We already have a pretty good team. Let's see what we can do with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Um, adding to that. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about seeing that matchup, especially Week 1 right away. Steelers Jets, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But we got some other stuff to talk about. How about our Arkansas Razorbacks? By the way, there's a reason
Yeah.
I'm wearing
How about 'em?
my very old and rugged and worn Razorback hat that my sister got for me probably, I don't even know, 15, 16 years ago. It's been through a lot. I ran the Chicago Marathon in this hat, my first major. Done a lot of things in this hat. It's near and dear to me. It's the bill's not even straight on it because it's like kind of broken in the middle. Because I tried to wash it one time and it didn't go well. But I don't know. It's going to be hard for me to get rid of it. It won't be that hard to get rid of my hat because it's when it's finally time to just trash it. Just 'cause I'm not that sentimental about things, especially a hat. I can always just get another one. But I do like this hat, and I'll put it that way. But our Hogs won the Super Regional, swept Tennessee, beat them 2 games to none, smoked
Man,
them
who
in the
called that?
second game.
Who called that?
You did. You picked. You did pick them in both games. I picked Arkansas to win in 3, but yeah, Arkansas got it done and decisively so in the elimination game, or Tennessee being eliminated. That is, and they are going to Omaha. Uh, College World Series is set. Arkansas plays Saturday at 6 p.m. primetime ESPN, playing LSU right
That
off
game
the
better
bat.
be prime time. Yeah. Two best teams in Omaha playing each other on the first game. Makes complete sense. But
How does that happen?
it's
Uh,
all, dude, it's all seated the way it was seated. It just all fell into place like this. So, um, yeah, Texas and Vandy and all those guys getting upset didn't didn't help that side of the bracket.
but do you like it though? Do you like it or do you not like
Yeah.
it?
I mean, I like it. I mean, you got to play the best team either way. You can't shy away from anyone. I mean, there's what 8 teams there in Omaha. You can't think that one of them's not as good as the other. Like, you better be playing 7 other LSUs in your head. Like, you're going against the best of the best. Yeah, you don't go in there thinking that you can, it's going to be an easy road to get that title. It's not.
Here's the thing: Arkansas is hitting on all cylinders right now. I mean, they're playing maybe their best ball. They finished the regular season strong after having kind of a dip there, kind of toward the end, losing
Mhm.
3 straight series, and but then they kind of went on a tear. They swept Texas, who was number 1 at the time, and I mean they won every series since. Well, minus LSU. Um, LSU smoked them.
Well, that was at
Well,
home. Yeah. Well, one game was one game they crushed us. The first game they won on a walk off hit, and
in
then
extras.
yeah, the
Two
next one
two of the
was
games were
disastrous.
close. Two of the games
Yeah.
were close, but the one I watched, which was game two,
Yeah.
LSU just obliterated them, and
Yeah.
so it left a bad taste in my mouth. Their pitcher was dominant, and I came away from that saying that's the best team in the country, LSU. Yeah, if I'm Arkansas, I want to play them now.
Yep.
Now,
Get it out of the way.
part of me's kind of like I kind of wish somebody else would knock them out, get hot and knock them out. Like Little Rock, I was pulling hard for Little Rock. I didn't think it would happen, but Little Rock gave them a scare, and then LSU did what champions do. They responded with their backs against the wall and pretty much dominated the rest of the way at that decisive game. Um, but yeah, if I don't know if I'm Arkansas, it would be if you do go on to win the thing, it would be kind of poetic in a sense of we went through Tennessee, the defending champions, to get there and go ahead and drop LSU, at least give them that first loss right off the bat. Um, you want to be the you want to be the best. You got to beat the best, as Ric Flair would say. You want to be the man. You got to beat the man, and LSU is the man. So at least in this, it's this time around the College World Series, they're the talent. They're the most talented team left. I think
And
they're the most talented team anyway in the country.
and it may be a good thing that because since we can throw pretty much start our best arm against them, like guaranteed.
Yeah,
So,
it's might as well, and it's I'm excited to see the matchup, and you have essentially a week to get ready for it. Everybody can be rested. I like going into the Texas series. I watched some clips of Dave Van Horn talking to the team that I loved. It was, and Arkansas was coming off of three straight series losses in SEC play. You wouldn't have known it based on the way Dave Van Horn was talking to his team. I remember the line, "No one wants to play us," and this is coming off of three straight series losses in SEC play. No one wants to play us. How does Arkansas respond? Sweeps number one Texas. So Dave Van Horn's going to have something. He's going to have the guys ready. I just hope. I just want to see him deliver. It would be a shame considering seemingly every other SEC team has a championship in baseball. At least it feels that way in the 21st century. That's what it feels like, except for Arkansas and Dave Van Horn. I don't know if anyone in the conference has been at their school longer than Dave Van Horn and has had more consistent success than Dave
mhm.
Van Horn. So it would be a shame for Dave Van Horn to eventually end his career without a national championship, considering every other school and coach in there seems to have one. Like Dave Van Horn is as good or better than any of them.
Yeah.
As good, at least. But he may be the best. But he's missing that chip. He's missing the national championship. So it would be a shame to see him. I don't know. Whenever he decides to hang it up, it would be a shame to see him do so without a national championship. I think he's the most deserving. And this team is good enough to win a national championship. It is. Aloy at short is a vacuum. I've
Mm.
never felt more confident with an Arkansas shortstop when a ball is hit to them that, okay, that's an out. Like, you don't have to worry about a wild throw or anything like that. Like being a lone oak guy when Casey Martin was the shortstop, and Casey Martin was the best high school player I covered. And I covered a handful of guys that went on to not I don't think anybody ever wants the big leagues, but they got drafted and played in the minors, etc. Casey Martin was the best I saw. He went on, and there was a lot of hype for him at Arkansas. He was a really good player at times for Arkansas, uh, but he would have some errors at shortstop. And whenever a ball was hit to him, I kind of hold my breath, like I hope he does it, because I'm naturally rooting for the kid. One, he's a Razorback. Two, he's a good kid. Three, he's from my hometown. So it's just triple whammy if I want this kid to be successful. But he'd have some errors here and there. Aloy, I know it's an out. Like it's an out. It's like Steph Curry at the free throw line. Just count it.
Mm.
And you're like, it's a point. Aloy's feeling it and he's throwing you out at first, second, whatever it is. This pitching's there. That hitting is obviously there. You got your six hitter is hitting well in the 300s. Your center fielder, who you got from Georgia, is your nine option, and he's not a gimme out. I mean, he's a pretty solid player, especially in the field at center field. I like that Arkansas went out and got athletes to plug into their lineup. They said we need to stop just getting power hitters. We need athletes, guys that can run bases, but also hit. And then this season they set the most. They have the most home runs in program history for a single season. Kind of wild how that happens. But they just went out and got athletes and ball players from leadoff to the six hole. It's dangerous. And if Arkansas is ever going to do it, this is about as good of a shot as you're going to get with Dave Van Horn.
Agreed.
Thoughts or anything to add to that?
No, I agree with everything you just said. But yeah, I think this is, yeah, I mean, by the numbers, man, you look at it, you can say this is one of his best teams. I think this is his best shot that he's had.
Can you think of a team that's been more talented than this one as a whole from top to bottom? Because I could always kind of point to weaknesses. Even the team that got to the semifinals of 2 or 3 years ago, it was a team that didn't finish the regular season strong, had a lot of weak spots, didn't hit for power, but they got hot at the right time. This was a couple of years ago when Ole Miss won it, and knocked Arkansas out in the semis, and then went on to win the thing. This team is better than that team that got to the national championship. That Razorback team that got to the national championship game.
Yep.
But in fact, if it wasn't for LSU, I'd say Arkansas would be the favorite. But LSU is, I don't know, they're everything I just said about Arkansas.
But they've won it multiple times.
Yes. And I think they're a slight step above Arkansas as far as talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can Arkansas beat them? Sure. We're going to find out either way Saturday. I'm excited to see it. But yeah, right off the bat, man, we're not wasting any time. Arkansas LSU, the matchup we really wanted to see. And really, whoever wins the thing, if it is Arkansas or LSU, again, who knows in this thing. But it makes sense that they have to play each other. Like you got to go through Arkansas has to go through LSU and vice versa. It makes sense that they have to do that in order to go win the thing. So I'm excited about it. Looking forward to see it. Okay, what else is going on in the sports world, Brad? Because we don't have the NBA Finals tonight. That's game 3 is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I'll have to find something different to watch. We can talk about that, I guess, for a second.
Yeah, so say, what'd you think of game 1? I woke up very disappointed, and because I say woke up is because I went to bed, with like, I don't know, 8 minutes left in that game on game 1 because I thought it was over. and then to wake up and find out that you missed another phenomenal comeback from by the Pacers and Halliburton. I was like, dang it. Of course I missed it.
I did
But
not miss it. I watched the entire. I didn't really pay attention to the game till the fourth quarter. And even then, I was kind of half into it, and then I looked up and I saw the Pacers are creeping back into this. Well, I did see Oklahoma was up 15 at one point, and
yeah,
Pacers cut it to like 8, then 7, and then 5. And I'm thinking they're not really going to do this. Didn't lead the entire game, and just kept clawing, and yeah, they got the rebound on the or their final possession, take their first lead on a Halliburton bucket, and first lead with 3 seconds to go.
point three.
Yeah, point 3 seconds to go. I think he took the shot with 3 seconds. I think that's maybe what I'm thinking of. But yeah, their first lead of the game. I was surprised, but I wasn't. And because I was like, they're not really. I just kept thinking they're not really going to do this again, are they? But they did.
Yeah, and they
And
did.
but Oklahoma City bounced back. They played last night, and it wasn't much of a game. Indiana tried to do what they did in game one and really throughout the playoffs and make a run, but it wasn't happening this time around. Oklahoma City was not going to let it happen. Oklahoma City's the better team. They're the more talented team, the deeper team. Uh, and that's why you got to win 4. I
Yeah,
don't see Indiana beating these guys 3 more times. I don't see it happen. It
in
took a
5 games. Maybe if they had, 7 games, 7 more games, yeah, 3 more times, but not in five.
yeah. It's a you got to beat that team. Yeah, 3 more times, like you said, and you did it on a miracle. And now you made miracles throughout the playoffs, even especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't see you beating. You're not going to beat this squad like that repeatedly. Oklahoma City's not going to let you. But yeah, Oklahoma City, this is the best team they've had, even with Durant, Westbrook, Harden. This is the best team they've had from top to bottom on the roster. Such a deep team, uh, so well coached, know what they want to do or know what they do best and do well. It's just they play as one, like Indiana does, but they're more talented. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna stick to what I said. Oklahoma City in 6 because I think Indiana's scrappy enough. They'll get another game. But you're not beating these guys 4 times in seven tries. You're just there's no way.
Do they beat them one more time?
Yeah, I think Indiana wins again. I think they'll get one in Indiana. Um, I think they'll probably they're either going to be down 3-1 and they'll win another to force a game 6, or they'll tie it up at 2 and then Oklahoma City just puts it away.
So no gentleman's sweep. It's out the door.
I mean, it could happen. It could certainly happen. But Indiana's they're they're really well coached. They they play well together as a team. They're extremely scrappy, and they don't quit. They're like Michael Myers. You can't kill them. At least haven't been able to yet. But I think Oklahoma City will get that done at least in the series. Yeah, I'm sticking to what I said originally. Oklahoma City in 6. I told my brother Jake OKC in 5, and then I saw them. Then at that night in Memphis, that deciding game that I watched them when I was in Memphis last weekend or the weekend before last. I just said, yeah, I don't. It's hard to beat these guys 4 times, like in 5 tries. I mean, yeah, Oklahoma City could do it, but Indiana's. I mean, I've already said all that. Just so well coached, play so well together, so scrappy. Yeah, I think they can get 2 out of them, but they won't get more than that. Oklahoma City and 6. Heard this question posed though on which they do. Stephen A. Smith is the face of ESPN now. Um, so they ask him everything about every sport, and he knows his basketball, but I don't take him seriously on anything else. But I will pay attention to what he says about basketball because he does know his stuff about basketball. And but he said the question was posed if Oklahoma City, or I don't know if this was a question, I just saw it on the headline. He made the argument that if Oklahoma City wins a championship, SGA is the greatest Thunder player ever. What do you think of that?
Greatest Thunder player ever,
Yes.
not including the Seattle team or anything. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Well, yeah, include it. I guess I don't know if they were or not, but you think
If they
anybody
include, if
hang on, do you think anybody in Seattle, like Sonic's history, has been better than Kevin Durant?
it's, hey, I said it for clarification. No,
I was gonna say, yeah, Sean Kemp and Gary Payton were really good. They weren't as good as Kevin Durant.
no.
But yeah, they were really good.
But yeah,
Not Kevin
SGA
Durant.
has more talent around him than Durant. I will say that.
Even that's weird to say. You had to because he had 2 other Hall of
I,
Famers.
I know. It's just he has more of them. It's like he has 2 more Hardens. Like,
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's weird to say that because we're just now. Jalen Williams is really just now coming onto the scene. Chet
yeah,
Holmgren is really like in what year 2,
yep.
at least from a health perspective. Yeah, it's hard to say that, but man, they're really young, they're really talented, and they play so well together, and they're very well coached. Uh, and
Fantastic.
also here's the thing too, though. This Oklahoma City team doesn't have to deal with a Miami Heat that had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Mike Miller.